As I reached a point in my career, I was tired of trying to be something I wasn't.
Wow.
Being you will upset some people, but it's essential to your success that you are okay with that.
I'm not doing anything for, any other reason other than it's just me.
Rise and shine, it's Espresso time. What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. I believe in you, and this channel is designed to be a part of your daily success routine. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message. Just be you. Over to you, Dwayne Johnson. Also, if you want to know what Dwayne Johnson and other successful entrepreneurs have to say about building unstoppable confidence, check out my 254 Confidence series, where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you a morning video for free to help you build your confidence. The link to join is in the description below.
My call time is at 7. Then you back your clock up 4 hours, and then that's when I get up.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
At this point in your career, when most people would be like, hey, get those cameras away. I don't want to talk to anybody. Every single day, you're talking to the people. Why is that?
It's the most important relationship I have.
Wow.
Is with the people. As I reached a point in my career, I was tired of trying to be something I wasn't.
Wow.
So I was told at that time, listen, you can't talk about wrestling, you can't go by the rock, you can't be as big, you can't, it was a lot of things like that. So finally I reached a point where I said, all right, 2 things have to happen. I'm gonna surround myself with a different group of people, different management, and then I'm gonna make sure that I just gotta be me.
Right.
I gotta be me, and if you wanna call me Rocky, call me Rock. Right? I'm gonna get in the
Because
gym.
we didn't know, because I was like, should I call him?
No, yes, of course.
No more Rock.
No, it's always Rock.
Being you will upset some people, but it's essential to your success that you are okay with that. You are not willing to actually be yourself and actually bring yourself to your business because you are afraid of upsetting somebody in your life. Maybe it's your mom who wants you to join the family business. Maybe it's your dad who wants you to have a successful career and go be an accountant. Maybe it's your friends who think if you move away and you become a success, and you will be a sellout. With success comes a lot of people that will love you and some people that will hate you. And if you are not willing to accept that not everyone will love you, then you will never do anything special with your business. So I recently came back from LA where I was doing a speech at a video marketing event. And at the end of the evenings, I was always invited to go out to the VIP dinners and the go-karting, all the fun activities. And I didn't really want to do that, not because I'm better than anybody else, just because I'm introverted and I didn't like going to big parties, and I don't like being away from the hotel for too long, and I just don't like big group events. And so I politely said no. And I went to dinner by myself and grabbed a Subway sandwich and came back to the hotel and ate in the lobby and engaged with the people who were there at the event one-on-one until 2:30, 3 o'clock every single morning. And it was the best. An earlier version of me would have been sad about that, would have made myself go to those events, would have not liked myself for going to those events because I wasn't willing to accept that I'm an introvert and I need time for myself, and I don't like doing big group parties and events. And when I fully accepted that and started living that, that's when more great things started actually happening to me. That's when that event in LA became one of the greatest events of this year for me because of all the people I was able to help, where if I went to the big group events and sat in the corner and was upset or depressed, it wouldn't have really led to a lot of success for me or the people around me. Now, not everybody may have liked that. Maybe some people expected me to go. A lot of people probably expected me to go. All the other speakers were going. Maybe some people would be upset about that, and maybe they call me out or they talk negatively about me. I don't think that's the majority of people, and maybe that didn't happen with anybody. But it wouldn't surprise me if some people were upset or hurt that I didn't go to the events. And it wasn't my intention to hurt people. It's just me being me. And by me being me, a lot of people benefit from that, and some people will not benefit and not be happy about it. But if I'm unwilling to go off and be me and do what I do and do what I love, because I'm worried about 2 or 3 people's opinions and them being hurt or upset by it or not understanding it, then it means that I'm not able to go off and impact hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. So you have to do you. Otherwise, you'll never have the impact you want to have, and you'll never be happy. Okay, so the next bit of advice becomes, how do you do it? Because the most common piece of advice for a lot of people is just be you. But how do I do that? How do I figure out what that is? How do I get the courage and strength to be able to do it? I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help. Number 1 is figure out what your one word is. Figure out what your one word is. Your one word is your most important core value. And this becomes the rock that you stand on. When somebody wants you to do something that you don't believe in, when somebody has an opinion that you don't quite agree with, if you don't know what you stand for, then it's easy to be swayed by other people's thoughts and opinions. But when you are rock solid, when you know this is who I am, this is what I'm all about, this is my most important core value, then it's harder for people to push you off of it. Right? I'm all about believe. If you don't love believe, amazing. No matter how much you hate believe, you're not going to push me off of that rock because I believe in what I believe. I believe and believe, and you're not going to push me from that. But if it's something else that I'm not as certain in, or if I didn't have believe as my one word and I didn't know what it was, then it'd be easy for me to doubt myself. It'd be easy for me to think, maybe this person's right. And if you're constantly living your life based off of other people's opinions, judgments, values, then you're never actually doing your thing and you feel pulled in a million different directions. And so step number one for me is self-awareness and figuring out what is your single most important one word core value. Step two is identify the biggest change. What is the single biggest change that you need to make between being the person who you pretend to be or the person who you maybe like to show that you are versus the person that you actually are? What is that single biggest change? And so for me was exposing that I'm an introvert and saying no to going to those events and saying no to the dinners and the go-karts, and then even taking out my phone and making a video on the streets of LA saying, guys, I'm having an introvert moment and I just feel like being by myself for now. And that video that I posted on Instagram and also on YouTube ended up being one of the best performing videos on my Instagram channel. And people really resonated with it and said, thank you for giving me the permission to be introverted as well. I really resonate with what you're saying. And so step two is to figure out what is that single biggest change of the person that you know you are, but you're not expressing yet. You have to figure that out. And then step three is to ignore the little man, that you have to go in on that thing. If you know in your heart that there's something inside you that should be expressed, but you're afraid to do it because of somebody else's opinion, I call that the little man. The little man is the person that tells you all the reasons why you're not going to win, all the reasons why your ideas suck and why you suck and why it's never going to happen for you. That's the little man, the haters, the naysayers, the non-believers, those people in your life. You have to be able to ignore them. You have to be able to do the thing, summon the strength to do the thing that you're afraid to do, to put yourself out there, to be the introvert or to be the whatever it is for you, and embrace that that's who you are. You found your one word, you figured out what the biggest thing is that you need to change, and then you need to go off and express it and ignore what the people around you are saying, because most of the people will love you. Most of the people will embrace you, and there'll be a vocal minority of people who won't like you, who will say that that's stupid, who won't believe in you, who say you're never going to make it, who say that's a really stupid idea. They just won't buy into what you're doing. And that's okay. And I know there's a tendency to, if you got 100 comments on a video and 99 of them are positive and one is negative, you only pay attention to that one person, that one little man, that one person who says that you suck. I know that's where we want to go, but a little shift to say, you know what, there's 99 people who love what I'm doing. I'm awesome. So number one, figure out what your one word is. 2, figure out what the biggest change is that you need to make and express. And then 3, go for it and ignore the little man. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know whose opinion is preventing you from being who you are. Let me know. Put in the comments below.
I was getting interviewed the other day, some interview, and the guy said something about like, it's impressive how quickly you've built your brand.
Right.
And I looked at him and I said, I'm not a brand. I'm a person. I'm a person. What I'm doing is not what I'm doing so that I can leverage people. What I do is just me, and I'm just a person. So if you asked me if I would wear a rainbow t-shirt, I wouldn't.
No, I've asked you to wear lots of stuff and you haven't.
and if you asked me, but that's not because of I'm trying to be something. It's because that's who I am.
Right.
And I had one of my bros who I hadn't seen in a while, and we met at a little place we go to in San Diego, and I hadn't seen him in a year and a half. And he comes walking in and he sees me and I'm wearing the same thing that I always wear, a pair of jeans, a Victory black t-shirt. And he walks in and he sees, and it was wintertime and I was wearing a flannel, like a whatever, like a
New
Walmart-
England
Yeah,
flannel.
like a New England, but like cheap, whatever flannel with the quilt inside of it.
Yeah.
And he sees me, and like when he sees me, and this is kind of, you know, after the books and the podcast, and he's another SEAL, so he's suspect. And he sees me, and I see his face, and his face like gets happy when he sees me. And he comes over and like does like a bro hug, and he says, "Bro, you're exactly the same." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he goes, "I knew it." And like that to me was the best compliment I'll ever get, is like, okay, no matter what happens, I'm not a brand. I'm not doing anything for, you know, any other reason other than it's just me. And that's just what I'm doing. And if people are cool with it, man, that's awesome.
So Gigi, you are a brand ambassador, and for this campaign, when we talk about Perfect Never and what it exemplifies, why were you so drawn to it, and the fact that you were willing to kind of be the face of what this campaign is?
Well, it kind of seems, I guess, like strange in a weird way that like a model who's supposed to be perfect is the face of a Perfect Never campaign, but I guess that was the point to me, is that people were like, why her? And that's the point, is that everyone always calls me perfect, and I'm just not. And like everyone else, you know, there's things that people think I am, and that there's parts of my career, obviously, that are very visual based, but there's a lot more to me. And when I connect with people on a real level, you know, with all of these girls who are friends to me or have been in my life in some way, we connect on something very different to what the world judges me on. You know what I mean? So that's what's important to me, is that I wanted to do something that I feel like I, at the end of the day, don't feel suffocated by not being allowed to be myself in some way.
So let me give you the one word secret to happiness. One word. This is all you need to be happy.
The most important word ever.
If you had to think of one word that's most important to you, or that sums you up, or that would be kind of like a little beacon.
If you want some intense Dwayne Johnson motivation, check out the video right next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I did a lot of my growing up in Hawaii and all my years of struggling as a family. I was evicted out of Hawaii. We were evicted out of our little efficiency.